do do.
That it worked.
Steve Armstrong, me and him are
There
texting
it
back
goes.
and forth,
Got
and
it.
he's talking about GP, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, we
I'm
live.
about to hit go live.
Getting
Yeah, we're
ready.
about to
It
go
says
live.
we've been live for 27 seconds.
That's
It
just
has.
us recording.
Sweet.
Well, he's
Oh,
not
that's
looking
on
at
that side.
Facebook.
Oh, you're not looking at Facebook.
But it said my thing says we're recording.
We are.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
we
There
should
we
be
go.
live now.
We're live.
All right.
But it said
One day, this Chasing Tails group will get this right on going live at 8 o'clock, 8:15, whenever. It's just going to work because we're having technical difficulties every week. But it's episode 54. We had a fantastic weekend at HRL. Sorrel Tracy, Richland Regatta had a lot of content coming out over the weekend. I'm really proud of them West Coast guys. I've seen results out of them. I saw videos. They had some live stream going on. I'm impressed. So let's dive into it. First off, Kyle, congratulations on your first HRL final win. Obviously swept the weekend, so good job with that. And
Thank you.
it's pretty good going J stock speeds. Good job.
Yeah, no, that was cool. You know, that's like I said in the interview after the race. I feel like that's been a long time coming, but we knew we were going to get there eventually. Been kind of really close to breaking into that front runner group. You know, it kind of helps when Jacob and Grant leave the class. That helps out a little bit, but nothing against. That's not to say anything against the guys in the class right now. And I know they're going to keep getting faster, but it was special being the first, but even more so that it was Father's Day. Like I said, Dad's given up a lot of time and you know, money even, and you know, we pretty much decided to start racing right when they bought a house on the lake and a pontoon, so they haven't really been able to enjoy that as much as I think they were planning. So it was cool to be able to. It's about the best Father's Day gift I could think of, and it was funny. They originally they gave us the Grand Prix trophies because they couldn't find the 2.5 one. So I was like, here, hold on to this. Maybe in a few more years, we'll be able to say we earned this one. But they did give us the right ones after. So no, it was cool. It was fun. That first heat wasn't really racing. That was surviving. But after that, Saturday or Sunday, it's weird. The stream, I went back and watched quite a bit of the stream, and it looked a lot better than it really was. With that said, though, like the straightaways were very drivable, and the turns are where it got rough, particularly turn 2. I mean, you saw Tremblay's video on down in turn 2, and you know when you're watching that video, you don't really see that wave. It just kind of pops up once you see the boat go flying through the air, and that's really how it was. It was bumpy all over, and all the big stuff was kind of hiding in it, and you didn't really see it until you hit it. You know, Eddie's video, same thing. I watched the video like 50 times, and I can't see the wave before he hits it. The boat just takes off. So it's kind of one of those ones where you just got to drive and pretend it's not there. And if you hit one, I guess hang on and hope for the best.
That's definitely Bobby's style course right there. Just shoot.
Bob, it's a good people. If Bob was still racing a ton, especially like a full HRL circuit, Bob, it'd be pointless to show up to that race because Bob would win that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I don't know. Did you guys see Tremblay in the Happy Sunny boat?
Yeah,
that dude, like that boat got so out of shape. He didn't lift at all. He just kept going. Like
going.
I don't even think he burped the throttle. It was just like bunking Bracco, foot down to the hammer down. Let's go.
That's how it was
pretty
too.
Amazing.
You could see in his video, and I saw several boats too. It's actually if they would have panned out, and I'm not saying they should have because that video is so cool. But if they would panned out a little bit and showed the raw footage, John and Kevin was on the inside, John was on the outside, did the exact same thing. As soon as it was like Michael smoked it, then John smoked it, then Kevin smoked it. They were 1, 2, 3 at the time, and none of them lifted. I can tell you that.
It was rough water, but it's amazing how rough water can expose bad setup boats. I mean, you watch some of these boats who claim that they're perfectly balanced, and you can't get around the corner in rough water.
Yeah.
But god damn, it was ugly. I mean, but no, a lot of drivers kept it together. They did good. They kept their head on their shoulders. They got through it. I mean, it was cool to see, good for the promoters of Sorrel to finally have a weekend get off like that. I'm sure they got to just be ecstatic, just happy as hell. good for HRL, especially for the people who spent, you know, a lot of money to travel there to race, you know, finally get on the water there and put a good weekend together. So it was pretty cool to see. Let's touch on the live stream a little bit. Take notes. Anyone who runs a live stream, take notes. That's how you do it. Now, would we like a little bit more interviews with the drivers and crews and stuff like that? Probably, but hey, it's the top of the hill right now. You guys are king with the live stream. I got to say that it was very impressive though.
I couldn't believe how like good the quality was. Like, I feel like I was watching TV, and usually YouTube, you drop some quality just like we do here on Facebook. Like, but I was like, dang, that actually looks like I could screen record this and put out a nice video. Like, I was impressed.
Oh, yeah, especially really the start finish line camera, and that's the one that's probably direct lined into the Wi-Fi. Jared's out there in Narnia on turn 2. I don't even know how they got managed to set that up, but like that stream camera, that's like high definition, man.
Yeah.
And the drone shot from turn 1 was really good too. I love that sequence they had of, start finish line camera as they get down to turn 1, pan to the drone that kind of follows them up the backstretch a little. And then once they get in frame, they drop back to Jared's camera over in turn 2. It was such a sweet progression.
Yeah. It's really cool how they can do that. And I mean, obviously us armchair referees, a lot of times they pan to that first turn and be like, hey, that's going to be a penalty right there.
Yeah.
And then they don't call it or whatever, or vice versa.
Yeah.
There was a lane there and then somebody gets a penalty, but man.
Dude, I will say that we have our little HS or FS Facebook group for drivers and owners. And the points that were brought up, I think were the pretty consensus points, but turn 2 in Sorel, if you watch an angle from like even with the apex buoys, is the best argument you can have for why we need a 5th buoy in the turn at the apex.
100%.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now, being a dead horse. You know how we had a GP drivers committee.
I know.
We're like, we'll pay for the buoy. Yep. Let us put it out.
Well,
I don't know what it is about that.
Brought that up in the group, and it was funny because he's making like a French post and an English post, and in his English post, he's like, we used to have 3 boobies from the entrance to the apex and then 2 more from there. And I had to comment. I was like, who had 3 boobies?
Yeah.
it was funny. But like, if you watch the final, I know there was some comments about John bearing out on Eddie. And, the way the rule's written in HRL, he had the lead. And I don't really think he went more than 2 lanes. But the fact that there is no apex there, if Eddie would have been leading him by even 2 feet, Eddie could have chose to make him essentially make a 90-degree turn, and that shit ain't happened.
Yeah, if he didn't try to wear it down the backstretch, he might have been leading him. But
yeah, exactly. And I think we've gotten lucky that we haven't ran into that experience yet. I think 2 courses that really make it an option are Tonawanda turn 2 and Sorel Tracy turn 2. It's a flat apex, and it takes a boat deciding that in turn 2, deciding they're going to run that flat apex instead of an arc. And boat 1, I mean, you saw John's not scared to drive. Anybody in that F class is not scared to go drive into turn 1 full speed or turn 2 full speed. And it takes 1 hop, and you're gonna end up with 2 destroyed boats and maybe some injured drivers, and nobody wants to see that. If you're, it's geometry. You can't make an arc with 4 boots. It's not possible.
The way that 92 was driving, I don't think I'd want to be on its outside. The way that boat was turning throughout the weekend, I want to be on its outside going into a turn.
It was definitely on the edge there, man. Because we've seen that boat kind of go around with that right response and digging a little bit. I know the Valleyfield incident. I think the boat ended up being twisted or something after the blowover. Because
it might still be as twisted, but I think it's just their struts too deep, and it's just rolling over on that right sponson way too far.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that course, like you said, that course in particular exposes.
You wouldn't get away with that with a fat driver like we got. If we put Kyle in that thing, Kyle gonna roll it. I'll tell you what, though, one person in that F class that got the Gonads Award, Sam Tremblay. Man he didn't give it nothing. He's just hammered down Larry.
Dude, he came walking up
with his jorts on.
Yeah, he came walking up after that heat with Eddie. And I was like, man, you got some balls on you. He goes, it was going to turn or it wasn't.
I said,
That's awesome. You gotta put that on the boat, man.
I text Kyle. I said, is Tremblay just walking through the pits with his sack dragging the ground, just
Yeah.
walking like a crab? Because holy crap, that dude, he just never let out. That was
No.
awesome heat.
That was a discussion in the pits watching him that weekend. That boat, the rise to the air trap created by the sponsons, that huge gap between the bottom of the air trap and the water, like that, it's unique. And I think a lot of people might look at it compared to other boats and be like, oh, that boat design's not good. But I've never seen that thing struggle in rough water one time.
No, not at all.
No.
It just, and it hovers, dude. That I'm sure I haven't watched everything. I'm sure there's some insane footage of that thing coming down the backstretch, because we saw the Bohorn video. That thing just floats above the water.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely interesting. You know,
They've put a lot of work into that thing over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Miss Bijan. Like they've been cutting it and doing
I
balance, all
gotta
kinds of cool
say,
things.
it's more power to them, because it's not your regular Henderson cookie cutter boat that you can get to make and go fast. It's something different, and they're making it go fast. So it's pretty cool to watch them and watch them develop and keep improving every weekend they go out.
No doubt. They're I wish they would have went to Cambridge, because we've been saying it for about a year now. That's the boat to watch in F. We know Eddie's fast.
Yeah.
We know John's fast. We know Kevin Smith's competitive. We know Michael Tremblay and the 555 is competitive, and those guys are going to win heats. But the 113, you get that thing in some rough water, and we know there ain't no shortage of that in HRL. That thing's hard to beat, and they got the driver to drive it too, because he's going to push that thing to the absolute limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we talk about that and then moving the H350s, I was watching all weekend and I wasn't keeping up with the HRL app. I was just like, oh, wow, cool. The McKenna won and blah, blah. And then you come to the final and they're lining up. I'm like, where's McKenna? And I scroll back. I was like, oh, he was in the Conti? Like, so many people jumped the gun this week. And obviously the final had some attrition issues with jumping the gun. And
people were either super late for the start or super early for the start, because it was such a short run coming out of turn 2 to that starting line. So I think that messed with people a lot. But it was quite interesting. Especially watching those 350s through the weekend, how electric they were all weekend. Every heat out there was it was something to watch. It was, they just proved, all the classes just proved you can do it without GP. You can have a badass show without GP. Nothing against the GPs, but it had me all weekend. I was doing stuff with the kids, going to a birthday party, doing this, doing that, on my phone looking, because every heat was cool to watch.
The amount of people posts I saw on Facebook, or even just like talking to people that were like on their boat with a monitor watching the races, or
there was
cooking on their back
350 people consistent.
Yeah.
And that's really good for boat racing.
You don't get people going out of their way to set stuff up to keep a stream on if it's not good.
Right, exactly.
They'll find time to go back and watch it, or they'll, if they don't have anything going on, they'll pop it up on their TV or their phone. But people are actually going out of their way to set something up to be able to stay tuned in on the action. And especially when you have the entire first half of Saturday, and like you said, Bob, they could always do more interviews, always find new ways to do content. I know they're working on it. I got to talk to Janik and some of them this weekend, and there's no doubt that that's on their mind, and they're trying to keep thinking of new ways, and people they haven't interviewed or stuff like that to keep something on camera. But the fact that they were able to do good enough to keep people coming back once Sunday hit and we had a 23 race program was awesome.
Yeah.
Even that, you talk about that 23 race program, and I think they drug their feet. I feel like that thing could have been done at 1 o'clock. They were clicking them heats off. So it's kind of like, all right, if we have perfect situations without GP there, do we bring back the final on each day? Obviously, you like having that Sunday final mean more. Like, I love the build up through the weekend of the Sunday final, but maybe you could throw a Saturday final in for everyone, and hey, that's your ticket to the final on Sunday. Like, you don't even have to run the qualifiers.
You win that.
If
you win that, you're automatically in that final.
So it's like a consolation heat to be the first one in the final. On Saturday, you advance to the final, and then Sunday you have your consolation heat to the last chance.
Yeah, you could have like the Saturday winner gets a guaranteed lane 2 or better in the final on Sunday. If they end up with the
Yeah.
most points as well, they're lane 1, obviously. But if they end up anywhere outside of most in points,
Yeah.
maybe they're in lane 2, and then the field falls in behind.
Yeah,
them
and then
points
and then
con.
and then how you do it, so people aren't like, well, I'm in the final, I'm sitting out. You still got to run your other heats to get your
Yeah,
points.
no doubt. I mean, all you have to do is mandate that. Shoot,
Yeah.
if you have a broken sponsor or something, that's one thing. But if
Yeah.
your boat's able to run, you run. No, I know they had talked about, and this is a plan of HRLs. They want to have one class run a extra, like basically like the invitational style thing,
Yeah.
one of the weekends of the season.
Blue.
Now Valleyfield obviously already gets F and 350 separately as part of their thing. It was discussed to have the F boats do that in Sorel, and that was pretty aggressively shut down in our owner drivers group just because of the water. And that's understandable in the smaller boats. I think the 350s could handle it, but it's one of those ones where I think after this year, people might maybe consider it more. But I mean, we saw in those finals that shit gets rough. It doesn't matter. The conditions were perfect. There was virtually no wind, and if there was, it was coming from the side of the pit. So by the time it gets low enough after coming over that seawall, it's basically at the backstretch, if not past the course. But the entirety from basically the entrance to turn 2 all the way to the entrance to turn 1, it is seawall. And I was talking to John Shaw. The scariest part of this weekend for me was freaking timing marks, dude. There's an angled seawall that spits water right back at that start finish line. I mean, Mom kept getting so mad at me because she's like, "What are you doing in the warm up?" And I'm like, "I gotta take the marks like it's a race.
Right.
I don't want to because I'm really not trying to blow this shit over in the warm up." But
So we're talking about the live stream. You know what? Let's knock them down a few notches, because if they were that good, they would have went over and got on that helicopter rental ride and then got some awesome footage in a helicopter.
That would have been cool.
they should
Yeah,
do
would've
that
been
next
cool.
year.
Slacking.
That would be
They're
pretty
slacking.
cool. That thing probably did 50 tours that
That'd
day.
be
It
like
was
one of
just
them
up and down, up and
old
down all
old
day.
school Valleyfield ones
Yeah.
where they're in the blimp doing the announcing.
Well, they
Yeah.
used. Brandon, you're probably too young. Yeah, you're too young. They used to have helicopter rides at Valleyfield, and used to take off out of the baseball diamond in the.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
thing.
right. Yeah, I do remember seeing that. Probably in videos. I'm not that old.
Probably videos. So, let's talk about Jersey Speed Skiff. Louis locking up his first win at his hometown.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
That was
that's
really cool.
I
They were
really
so
wasn't
pumped.
sure, man, going into that final. I'm like, I don't know. He won that one heat, and then he finished second, I think third one heat, and it was just kind of a mix up.
I think he needs to get more comfortable turning that boat, because he's fast as hell down the
It's an out-
straightaway. He gets to a turn, and it's like hits the brakes,
It's an outboard rudder. Not many people are comfortable.
and you just hammer down Larry and start turning, buddy.
Point and shoot.
Man,
I think he's got some crazy shoot speed though.
it ain't
Yeah, it
that
does.
hard.
Yeah, and good in rough water, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. I mean, they put on a good show, obviously, as always.
Yeah.
Even with 5 boats, 4 boats,
5
in
boats.
most
They
heats,
still
like,
did it. They
put
still
on a
did it.
good
It was
show.
good.
Yeah.
Still good racing.
Yeah, that was cool seeing on the dock when they got back from that heat. They were pumped. I could hear them. I was strapped into my boat and I could hear them cheering as they were pulling back in, waving their arms around.
That's cool.
It was really cool. I'm
That's
sitting
cool.
there trying to, squeegee water out of my boat with a towel because they don't let us drain. Here come the skiffs rolling back to the dock.
Yep. Just
Damn it.
plowing.
So that's pretty cool.
And the 113 was a hometown winner as well in the F class.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
boats-
they're
that
both
boats own-
Louis,
yeah,
Louis
own
and them
there
same
as well.
team. Yep.
So
Yeah,
a
that's
really good
pretty cool.
weekend for those guys.
That's it. It's rigged. It's rigged.
That's it.
I'm
That's
just
right.
kidding.
I
I'm just kidding.
most people ask Woody Plescott, man. Most people have problems in their hometown. They
Yeah,
don't
right,
win. in their
right,
hometown.
Right?
Right. No, that's pretty cool that they both got to win.
Speaking of, let me find this deal. That Cambridge APBA race got a beer label release. That's got to be top secret.
Beer
I'll send it to
label
you guys.
release.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Man.
You know, the Valleyfield, they're doing it with the boats on the labels and stuff. Now we're gonna have one out of Cambridge with RAR. That's pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Probably wasn't supposed to share that, but hey,
That-
people know.
but wait,
if you
but
send
wait.
me something, it's gonna be put on Jason.
Yeah,
they're
right?
they're not, but they're not sponsoring the race. They're sponsoring the pit bike race.
Yeah, the pit bike race. Not,
So, yeah.
not the boat race.
Come
I
on,
hope they get a
HR
good picture of the first wipeout. Somebody
Come on,
going over the
HRL
handlebars,
and
stick
Yeah.
that on a can.
HRL and
That's it.
GPA need to step it up. You guys, NH1, you guys want to be cool? You have a pit bike race after the races.
That's it.
There
Have
is more
some
money.
fun.
There is more prize money in that pit bike race than there is most races. For one race, what is it, like $5,000?
Yeah, that's what they
Something
were talking
crazy.
about trying to raise. Yeah.
Like $5,000 for a pit bike race. Come on, you can't even get that for a GP out of some of these races. Man, bam, got him.
Ding, 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 ding. Where's Austin with our ding, ding, dings?
Yeah, right?
He'll pop up, don't worry.
Oh wait, I hit the wrong one.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, but yeah, that's definitely down the pipes. Is going to be good stuff. Did you guys see much out of Richland? Obviously, Kyle, you were racing. Bob, did you watch any of that?
Real,
I seen
real
some
quick
clips.
before we
That's
jump to
about it.
Richland. Real quick
We'll
before we
jump
jump.
around. You know how
The
that
one
is.
the one class we did miss was 350. I believe I saw that was Kent's first final win since 2019.
Yeah, that is cool.
Which is- any
really cool
win
to
in
see.
that class is a big
And
deal.
it's
hard
wild
to make a
because
final.
I feel like every weekend back then he was winning.
Yeah.
He was.
He always get to
Man.
Valleyfield, be like maybe the sixth fastest boat, and somehow win Valleyfield. So
I wish
luck
we could have
hasn't been
got.
on
I
his
wish we
side.
could got a picture of Kent in 2019 and a picture of Kent now and put it together. Just the difference from last time you won a final.
Eddie, you got to.
Eddie, you got to do it. You got to do it,
Yeah,
bud.
we need that side by side. He probably don't look no different, man.
I was about to
Oh,
say,
no,
I
hold
feel
on,
like
I
it's
don't
gonna be
think Kent-
identical.
no,
ages.
I want to say he had a goatee back then, and his hair wasn't gray. But no, Kent's always been a little gray.
It was
How
funny.
old is
Ken
now?
actually did some almost reverse advertising at the drivers meeting on Saturday because they obviously get some really good sponsorships from different restaurants and stuff for Brockville. But what is it? Keystone? Is that the popular one?
Keystorm. Yep,
That Keystorm. That's not one of the sponsors yet. Everybody likes to go to that one, and he's like,
Yep.
guys, it's not on the list. Go
Yeah.
to the other ones.
Go
And
to
it's
the
like, he's
other
got
ones
a-
that
he's
actually
right.
put money.
Yeah, he's right, and it's a bummer that those guys don't contribute. I'm not super familiar with it, but I know that's been a long time favorite there. They
Yeah,
got some
Keystorm?
Lupton,
really damn
Lupton's
good
got to
wings,
damn
but-
near own that bar by now, so they
Yeah,
should
right.
definitely
Ken-
sponsor.
I remember one time I flipped the boat in Valleyfield, and then we stayed in Brockville between races to get the boat fixed. Kent picked me up and took me out. We started at Keystorm. I don't remember anything.
It happens.
I mean,
I got clotheslined by Carson at a bar there once. We went from Keystorm to some other bar. They called it the Dirty Bird Bar or something like that. And some scuffle was happening, and I was going to get in the middle of a scuffle I didn't need to be in, and Carson just clotheslined me. Jack thought it was the funniest thing he's ever seen in his life. It is
That
what
is
it
pretty
is.
funny.
Yeah,
Too
it
bad you didn't
was.
have your
Shit,
Insta on. That
I
would've been
wish
awesome.
it was on video.
I wish I had my
Good
Insta
times.
footage from that first heat on Saturday, man. But those what do you call them? Those clips. Gravity doesn't work. It doesn't work on those things
When
when
you're-
you're going boom, boom.
Yeah, when you're headbanging.
I came
some
back in,
Slipknot
helmet
playing.
one's pointed straight down, one on the dash is pointed straight down. I started looking at it, and I didn't even get onto the backstretch in the warm up, and those things were down.
You know,
That's
you
when
know
you
it.
should
You know
just
it's
come
rough
back
when
in.
a J stock hydro is getting towed back in and it flips while getting towed.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Well, that was Sunday.
Oh,
even.
missed that.
Yeah.
No, I turned around. I was sitting there getting the boat ready. I turned around and I could see the red like light bar going across on the rest of the
Yeah.
boat. And I'm like, oh shit, did one of these guys blow over? And I was talking. I can't remember who I was talking to. So it was like, no, they were towing him back in, and like they either turned into a wave or whatever, and it rolled the thing over on him.
Oh, man, that poor kid. Because they sit in them things while they're getting towed back in.
Oh,
That
yeah.
poor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it sucks
man.
too because they Israel mandates,
you-
and it's a good thing they do. Not saying it sucks for any bad reasons, but just for the kid, he's getting towed in. Next thing you know, he's got to get put on a backboard and drive up
Yeah.
onto the rescue boat. And
Oh man, the whole charade.
Yeah.
Dang.
but fortunately, I don't think the boat was too messed up. Just kind of
Just a
tipped
little
over on
wear.
them.
Yep.
They
Dang.
were fun to watch, man. Novice kids.
Yeah, I
They
gotta
put
go
on a
back
good
and watch
show.
them. Austin said that final was really good. I gotta.
Yeah, it was, dude. They were like 6'7" wide, pretty close to side by side at the start, and a couple of them hit it really good.
Wow.
It's never rough for skiff. So what are you talking about?
Yeah,
No,
don't you love that? Like
it's a-
on
it's a-
Saturday, there was Saturday. They're like, let's send the skiffs out 3 times. I'm like, all right, now I don't have the best luck, so I'm probably the person that should not be talking about. But I'd rather be in a hydro in rough water than
Yeah.
skiffs.
Yeah. Like that's what I don't get. Like all these race directors think because it's a skiff, it looks like a V bottom, it can handle it. They're flat bottoms.
Yeah,
They get the shit beat out of them in rough water. It's like,
yeah, it's worse.
you know what? If a race director, like, or a promoter, or someone wants to put skiffs out in rough water, go do a test run. You put that dude who said put the skiffs in the skiff and go run it, and
100%.
then be like, do you think we should run? Because it is brutal in rough water in a skiff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, my thing too is I'm watching that water, and then they put our boats in, and then they pulled the 2.5s out, and they're like, "We're going on hold for a minute," and then they ran skiffs and 350s, and like after like the second 350 heat, maybe they're like, "You guys are after 350s," and I'm like, "What? Because they could handle it? You're sending us out?" I was like, "Of course they're going to look like they can handle it.
yo,
Yeah.
These
I knew
guys are
that.
insane, and both classes
Saturday,
they're
I knew that
absolutely
was
insane."
happening. We sit on hold for a while. It's like an HRL thing. It's a running joke in my mind. It's like you sit on hold, nothing changes. But hey, we're gonna run one course,
We're going.
and if nobody blows over, we're gonna keep going. As soon as somebody blows over, we're done.
Oh, it's always how it goes.
Yeah,
That's I was intently watching that 350. I'm not saying I was hoping somebody blew over, but I was sitting there like, damn, if this happens, it might be good for me.
Yeah, done.
But
And
they
then
did a
you
good
ran
job.
that heat. What was it? Yeah, Saturday. You ran that heat early, and then 2B had the guy with the bottom blowout. I was like, man, that sucks to get your stuff beat up, and if they don't get to this heat, that was all for nothing.
Man,
And they didn't. Mainly because he was in the hospital. They weren't going to be able to run.
dude, I mean,
I ain't never seen that.
I've never seen it, but I swear, man, if your ass is hanging out the bottom of the cockpit, just skipping across the water, there's 2 things
you-
that come to mind, and I don't want anything to do with them.
Could you imagine if he didn't have a seat? Like, is he getting sucked out the bottom?
Woo!
It's
Like,
possible, man. I
because
didn't
your
know that
belts
was some
don't
shit
hold
you got to
you.
worry about.
Your belts don't hold you up. Yeah, I know that's really going. You
World's
might want a
worst-
seat now.
world's worst enema.
Yeah.
And you saw. I mean, I'll find that video sometime when Cropfield had the escape hatch and
Oh, yeah,
Valley
yeah.
Field, and he gets out and he's like laying on the
Oh,
deck. I'm
holding
like,
his balls.
that was. I mean, that was faster speed, but that ain't
Yeah.
nothing than your whole bottom gone.
I don't care, man. I skipped across the water getting whipped off of a tube before. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So
who
Dad had
likes
your
to go
your
tubing?
butt just hanging there, just slapping the water. Like I
Dad
know
had
there's
me-
a seat, but there's holes in that seat.
Yeah.
Dad had me hop up in the cockpit just to check everything with how rough it was. There was some shit that had rattled loose. I opened the hatch door and freaking Allen bolt falls out. I'm like, shit, gotta
Yeah.
find out where that went.
Right?
But I started poking around on the bottom of the cell. I was like, I got the same cell as him.
They're pretty thin.
I'm gonna test this thing.
I think his
Yeah.
might have been built a little different.
Yeah.
Well, I know they've had damage on the bottom of that boat a handful of times. So it's I think that's with anything, even with a hull. The more it gets messed up and repaired, the weaker it's gonna be.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta scrap it and start over.
Yeah. Matisse had a good point. I don't know what their plan is, and I don't want to say that they need to do something. Obviously, most importantly, hopefully Mark or Stefan, recovers well. It sounded like it was relatively good news considering what happened.
Right.
But that's an HRL boat, and Matisse has a new boat, which makes his old HRL boat available, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know all the details about how that stuff works, but
Yeah.
Matisse has been super competitive in that boat, so maybe that's an option for them. Get rid of the one that's been giving them so much troubles, and I'm sure they've spent tons of money repairing it all these times, and it just seems like
for
no
sure.
matter what they do, there's more issues with
So
it.
his boat is an HRL boat.
I believe so. That's what I was told. I'm not 100% sure. I believe it is though. If it's not, then forget
Yeah,
what I'm
mean,
saying. But If it is,
Not
I
really
do
sure
think
which
that
boat that was.
they should consider picking up Matisse's old boat. Matisse and them did a lot of work
Was
getting that
that
thing
was
running
that the
well.
one? Was that the one where Eve's boat? He passed away.
I don't
Too
think
long
so.
ago? No?
I don't think that's Eve's boat. I think Eve's boat is now the Fat Boy.
Okay.
I think,
Hopefully he can get his repair, man. I
I'm
don't know
not
if
a
you guys
stat
saw
guy.
damage on that thing.
and I don't think Eddie's on Wednesdays, so we don't have our stat guy and waiting in
Damn.
the wings.
Oh,
for us.
he's over his old girlfriend.
studying
Studying.
study session. But hey, I got this novice heat queued up. Let's go ahead
Yeah,
and watch
Watch
this.
it. Let's watch
Said I
it.
wanted to watch it. So
Dude, I love watching these
what
guys
better
go through
time?
the turns because the concept of lanes vanishes so fast.
Yeah, so I didn't realize till this weekend that they fight for lanes.
I'll tell
They're
you one
not a
thing.
sign.
Couple years, watch out for this Mederick.
Yeah,
Mederick, watch out for him. This kid's got some racing skills.
so this is straight from the live stream. This is how good a quality it is, and it's actually better than what. you're
Yeah,
seeing
like look at
through
that
our
start,
live stream.
dude. That's awesome.
That
Look at
dude
all
on the
that.
outside is just rolling.
If I'm
Got
not,
Colin Henderson.
I think
all
that
the way on the
I can't tell if
outside.
that's Zach Parent or Olivier.
Oliver's on the outside messing
Oliver.
up.
Okay, so Zach's on the
Oh,
inside. then.
oh,
Oh,
Yeah, dude,
they
dude,
just
dude,
bumped.
they got-
Yeah,
they-
Whoever was in the inside just bumped. That look. We look like we look.
Dude,
at
I love
Texas
how they just
Travelers
keep
right
on
now.
going too.
And y'all were scared of that backstretch. Look at these little kids. I mean, they just whipping it down there.
Oh, dude, you'll see a couple of them throughout this heat, especially like back in the middle when they get into the spot.
Just slamming
That
in
was
there.
a serious hip check right there.
That was
Yeah,
just
it was.
and
slamming.
right there too. This is cool. Yeah,
Watching them
there's a lot.
reminds me of that little outboard racing you see in Japan. They have it almost like in a little stadium. And they're like
Yup.
leaning out of the boat to turn and stuff.
Yup.
It was cool. It's so cool watching those kids when they get back. They're so excited.
Man, there he goes
Oh,
with
look
that hip
at
check
oh,
again.
he's trying to get to the inside there. Dang, this is cool. You know what I like is they're not trying to run like the mile course.
Yeah.
They got a tight. It's kind of
Yeah.
like HRL style with us.
Yeah.
Bigger boats, like,
It's way
You're gonna
more
run a tight
entertaining and I think
course.
fun for
Yep.
them that way.
and it's right in front of the fans.
It's
I always
cool.
love how many people go and watch these kids. Like, it's
Yeah.
early in the morning, you're getting your boats ready, but like, it's
Did you
kind of
see-
like the GPs, man. A lot of people just go to the side and watch.
Well, the kid in first place, man, he gets to every boot. He's like,
Yeah, he cranking her in there. Look like Jacob.
look at Colin. He's trying to make up ground on second place right there. He's quick.
That's
Colin, right?
That's
No,
Mederick.
Mederick. That's
Mederick. I'm not sure
yeah.
how to pronounce it.
Oh.
I suck with the French names, man. I was getting
Yeah,
corrected
so
all
does
weekend.
John Tomey, and then we let him go up and do Brockville.
Well, my problem is some of them they pronounce like quite a bit different than the way they read, and then some of them are pronounced exactly how they read. And I always do the opposite. If it's pronounced exactly how it reads, I throw some French slang into it.
Yeah,
And if it's got French, however you
Well,
say it,
it's
I
like
pronounce it normal.
Janik. It's just like Janik. Some people call her Janique. Some people call her Janik. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know. I'll try to find somewhere in
Oh
the middle.
man, that was close.
I was.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool to watch those guys. What I like the way they do it too is they let those kids just have like an hour back to back to back to back right up front.
Yeah,
It's like
just
get your
keep
day
going.
out of the way, kind of high intensity early, and then they get to sit back and watch the rest of the classes. And there's no doubt that a lot of these kids are aspiring once they're old enough to get into those
Yeah.
classes. So
Yeah.
I hope
awesome.
they see how many people come down to the shoreline to watch them race in the morning. It's a lot of fun for all the teams and all the guys in the hydros to it's good. Like you said, it's a fun way to kind of get
It
things
is.
going in the morning, get a little break from working on the boat.
I got this other moment from the H350 final that I was going to share with everyone if they didn't see it. This was wild. I don't know if this was a penalty or not, and if it was, sorry, but it was wild. Like how both who was it, Tommy and Martin came out of this. Basically,
Oh.
keep on going, keep on racing. They both jumped the gun though, so they both had that penalty.
Tommy's fast. I mean, Barton's fast too. They're
Yeah,
all
Dude,
these,
773. You gotta watch
this
out.
was
for
one
that
of the
thing this
best.
year.
The one of the best finals I've ever seen in 350.
Yeah. It's too bad they
Watch him
both
as
jumped
he
the gun.
sets- yeah.
Oh.
But they I feel like neither of them lost speed.
No.
Like
No.
Rashawn's just still flat out. He's 2 boat links back right there. Like didn't lose an inch.
Well, let's be
Just
honest.
wild.
Rashawn just never lets out.
No,
That
Yeah, he
dude,
did.
that dude stuffs, and he still has his foot to the floor.
Right.
You
He
guys ever
probably
watch-
didn't even know he got cut off there. He's like, "What? I thought I just had spray on my windshield."
You guys ever watch Gabriel Iglesias? They call him Fluffy. He's that big
Yeah.
Hispanic dude.
Yeah.
He has a good joke about his buddy Martin, and every time
Yeah.
Martin's race, that's all I can think about is Martin.
Martin.
Yeah,
We got to get a video about that.
Martin,
Yeah.
rock on.
rock on. Yep.
That's
no,
great.
that boat's fast though. He's a competitor this year. It's that there's like 5-6 boats at the top of the 350 class that are so close to each other.
Yeah,
Just
it's-
make like we've said it for 2 years now. Just making a final in that class is a big deal. And
Yeah,
That's
and-
it. You gotta stay
Maybe-
clean, but you gotta stay up there. Otherwise, you're gonna have lane. You don't go to the consi, but you're gonna have lane 6 if you're not like
Yep.
pushing.
I mean, you got your like top 5 or 6 350s who are just like fast as hell, and then you got your other guys who are just a tick slower,
they're all
but
right
still
next
fast,
to each other
still
too.
fast as hell. Like,
Yeah, and they're all like racing very well behind the front runners. Like it's a battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth every
like
heat.
the
Right.
the pedigree of competition in 350 class in HRL is bar none the best out there. It is.
I want to give a shout out to Mark Lalonde. That dude has not missed a beat stepping up to the craziness at 350.
yeah,
Watching him drive that thing, holy shit!
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing good. But yeah, so I mean, all in all, Sorel was a pretty badass weekend.
Yeah.
Great racing, very entertaining, badass live stream. And they did it without the GPs. They did it without the GPs. I mean, I'm sure the promoter was upset the GPs weren't there, but you cannot deny how great of a show that was. It was. If there is a, it's going to be hard for a race to top that type of racing they just had at Sorel this year.
Yeah.
I don't
Sure.
care. I don't care. Valleyfield, Bahornwall, Brockville, Tonawanda. It's going to be hard to top the Sorel race. You know, a
Yeah,
lot
well-
of people were thinking that this will be the last year for Sorel. After seeing
Doubt
that, it'll
Doubt
be
it.
on next year. It'll
Yep.
definitely be
Yeah.
on next year.
I think if they would have struggled to get, weather-wise, especially if they would have struggled to get a race program, then you might have that conversation might have been had. I still think that it does require some really, really specifically good conditions.
Yeah.
But and I think the thing too is like people are starting to realize Saturday or Sunday proved like even perfect conditions, you stick 8 boats out there, it's bathtub.
Gets her off.
It's
Yep.
a bathtub. That's just the reality. Is it takes 20 minutes for all those waves to dissipate. And I mean, I was waiting a little bit because you don't get like a 1 to the 5 like you do in APBA, and the race pack takes a second to connect to a satellite. So I usually would tell them, hey, I'm going to hang back for 20 seconds till I see a satellite connect. Well, I couldn't get a clean timing mark all freaking weekend because whoever was the first one to take their run at the start was the only one that got a clean one.
Yep.
I watched the stream and it's like Alex
That's why-
Leduc, the first heat,
Wait,
got
go-
out there before all of us, got
I'ma
a real
be-
nice run.
I'm gonna be honest, Bob. Could you tell? I could tell.
Yo, shut up. My final start was good. I don't want to hear
It
it.
was
You're
good,
fine.
and then they're questioning
Man,
it. They're like,
It
"Did he
took
jump?"
you-
I was
it took
going
you-
to be so mad. I was going to be
It
so
took
mad.
you 4 heats to hit a
I
start.
don't give a shit.
Oh
give a shit.
man.
I was
Those
the first turn one
starts-
every time. Other than
those-
the first heat, Alex.
Oh
beat me,
no,
but
no, Fat
I was
Boy
happy
beat you to
letting him
that
beat me
turn.
there.
You were. I mean, you were.
It's
lucky
probably a
as
good
fuck.
thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it was
thing
good
he
that
I'm
beat
you were
glad he
me.
beat me
late.
to the turn.
Yeah, might have got
But-
tough.
Dude, he
I'm
went whizzing
looking.
down the front stretch, and I was like, there is no freaking way he is about to drive it into turn 1 this hard. He did.
Yeah, he did. And
Yeah,
then
comes
next
over the
day-
radio. He's like, crash, crash, crash. I was like, I see it, dude.
I'll
It's
see
right
it.
in front of
Can't
me.
miss that one. Big boy made big splash, and
Yeah.
then he did it again on Sunday.
Yeah, I feel bad.
He's like,
think
I got turn
think
one
got pretty
down.
beat up on Sunday.
Dang, man, it happens. It's part of racing.
Yeah. I think the same thing happened to Tommy Shannon and his F boat in the final too. Like not the same incident, but looking at pictures, it looked like the spots had started separating too. His was weird. You know how like when a shaft or an engine seizes, how the prop kind of creates that weird straight up spray.
Yeah.
His was doing that, but from the front of the boat. And I would imagine it was just a crack of some sort. But I saw him coming down into the entrance of turn 2 right before he shut off, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Tommy
Yeah.
Shannon's was that Mark Threat's old boat?
No,
No, I just figured this out a couple weeks ago. Now I already forgot. Eddie told
God
me.
dang it! Where's our stat guy, Eddie?
Man,
Oh.
Eddie's slacking.
I'm gonna get that. What I need to do is save the
What,
link
what
for
do you
that.
what do you mean this is study night? He doesn't work. He can study all week.
I don't know what he does on Wednesdays. Wacky Wednesdays, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, switching gears, Richland put on a good show as well. We had some results come in over the weekend. Look like your usual winners. It's crazy that they didn't have a 2.5 stock class and they had to run us 2.5 mods. After
Whoa,
all
do I
our
have-
bashing,
do I
we're
have to
like,
say it
hey,
now?
get rid of the 2.5 mod class, and then the stocks have to run with the mods.
Yeah,
Do
right?
I have to say it now? This is why we need to combine 1 liter mods and 2.5 stocks.
God, I did not want to get you on a rant, but here
1
we go.
liter mods and 2.5 stocks. Tell me why? Give me
Why
a
would
good
2.5
reason.
stocks step up to run with 2.5 mods? True 2.5 mods. I mean, they put
Yeah.
on. They held their own.
Yeah.
Marina
doubt.
Bartels, I think.
Kyle
wound up
held
running
his own
down in
too.
most seats.
Well,
Was
Kyle
it
held his
Marina running
own.
this weekend?
Kyle
Yeah.
held his own
Yeah.
also in Decatur against 2.5
Yeah,
mods.
but if you know those 2.5 mods, once they
I
get
know.
them sorted,
Yeah.
the motors are running, they're going to blow them away.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
Y boats are closer. Oh, and to answer your question, Dan did text me after the episode last weekend, and the 2.5 stocks were actually faster than the mods in Decatur. But
The 1 liter mods.
yeah, then
Yes.
the 1 liter mods. But the 1 liter mod had something wrong with the power.
Okay,
valves.
well, to rebuttal
So-
that, we were still 800 RPM off of the rev limiter, so
right. So they're going to be equal.
They're very close.
They're very close. And could put on a dynamite show. Like this weekend in
Absolutely.
Salina, what are you going to have? 3 or 4 1 liters? Probably 2 finish.
well,
No
no, you're
offense.
gonna have Chris Ritz, you're gonna have Scheckler, Timmy Collins,
Oh, they're all going. I thought they
Mlauick.
were West Coast boats. My bad.
Mlauick. So you at least have 4 that I can think of. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So put them with the 6 or 7 2.5 stocks. Then you have
10,
10.
11
You have
boat
2
heats,
heats. Dude, come on. None
Better
of this.
action.
And then you're gonna have what? 2 1 liter mods break down, and then you have 2 running. Like, come on, it's time to combine them.
Yeah.
I think
agree
They're
with
the
that.
same.
I think
speed.
especially when
They're
you're
the same
seeing-
speed.
I think especially when you're seeing a weekend, particularly on the West Coast, where we've talked about them having this really nice series, like kind of their own separate thing. You're seeing what I'm not saying your premier class, but your most consistent in terms of boat count and show.
Yep.
Have no class for a weekend. That's alarming.
Yeah.
That's
for sure.
not a good
Something
sign
we
at all.
got to figure out what's going on.
There's
And some of
never-
that they don't have as many 2.5s out there as we do over here between the East Coast and up in Canada, but they have had a good solid 2.5 class, from 5 to 7 boats for a couple of years now. And you're obviously something's going on where people are just not bringing them out as much. There's a myriad of reasons why that would be, but you have to. I think it's always funny when you go on Facebook and you hear, the GPs are the greatest example. All GPs aren't going to be in Brockville, or all GPs aren't going to be in Sorrel Tracy. And it's from people that don't own freaking boats. And it's like, well, where's yours? If it's
Right.
so easy and it's so not expensive, then where is yours?
Yeah, it's easy to point
And
fingers.
that, and I
ask
think
why.
that's where it's when we run into these problems, it's tough to put it on owners of boats or drivers because, they're at the bare minimum, at least trying.
Right.
But at some point you have to make it easier for the organization and for the show to put on a show. And if you got 3-4 boats in this class and 2-3 in this class, and they're pretty freaking close in speed,
Put them together.
Don't- logic says just put them together.
That's it.
Like,
shit,
Even
let
if
them
you
run for their
like
own
you
points
said,
for all I care.
exactly. Even if they score them separate, run them together.
No,
You gotta
no,
race
don't
each other.
don't score them
No,
separate.
no,
You don't need to add
Well-
any more stuff to scores stuff. Workload.
Oh yeah, because then they definitely would have to have those letter designations. Let's get on that subject. Did you see that somebody must have forced Monkey Business to duct tape an A over the S out there because
no.
it wasn't running as an S?
You want to talk about getting petty and bullshit? That's petty and bullshit right there. Come on, get the F off your high horse.
that same
Come
person
on.
probably called in Owensboro a few years back and told us to GP14 needed a GP. It's like,
You
guys,
want to know why?
you know it's a GP.
You don't want to know why sometimes racing's not fun because of bullshit like that. Like, come
100%.
on. It's a boat
my
on the
thing is-
water. Give me a freaking
If
break.
it's so typical, then how the hell do the scorers and the outboards manage? Because they got every letter in the alphabet on their boats.
Right.
I don't know
exactly.
what
They're the
letters
same
assigned to what
boats.
class. I have
They're
no
in-
freaking idea.
There ain't no way they change letter designations when they come
Absolutely
out in
not.
another class.
I mean, you watch the marathons and it'll be like, oh, Z15 and then F27 and freaking some Chinese letter. It's like, what do the
Oh.
letters mean?
Even better, someone forced Davenport to tape a 6 over his 1.
Oh, come on. Oh,
damn
my
it, Jim.
God.
That's 100% the score, and 100%
No,
being
it ain't the
it's
scorer.
gotta be.
There is an inspector out there that, I mean, it's been like this forever. When we went out to Yelm in 2008, we had foam blocks. We put the boats on because we had 4 boats in the stacker trailer. We had foam blocks, and they're like, you have to put boat numbers on your trailer. We're like, we don't have a trailer. We have to put them on the foam blocks. It's like,
Bill
are you kidding me?
Thompson.
Probably when this boat goes in the water, we're going to lose our foam blocks because they're going to blow away.
Right.
So maybe you're right. Maybe we should have a number so we know where to put them back.
But Bo did just clarify that the letters and outboard are for the region they're from. Now, to my point, if they can figure out how to score with letters that have absolutely nothing to do with the damn class they're in and outboard, we can figure out how to score without making Kyle Davenport put A6 on his boat.
There was
Yeah.
3 boats on the water.
Yeah.
Yellow, red, and white.
Yeah.
And HRL 2.5.
I don't know who
class,
was
I could
blowing
see
us
it.
up earlier asking about the color of the boat, blue, red, black, whatever. I don't know who that guy was, but obviously he thinks the same way.
Man.
And that's not to take anything away from the scorers. I know they do a lot of work, and especially with some of the new stuff going on, it's a little bit more.
I don't think
tedious
this
right now,
is whoever is doing this is not a scorer. The scorer's
Yeah.
got it figured out, man. These
Whoever's
scorers,
doing it's got to
They know the
hand
boats.
in their APBA card.
yeah.
Come
let's-
join
let's
me on
send-
come join me on the golf course because you don't need to be at a race.
Sounds like an unlimited thing, honestly.
It does, it does.
You gotta have the A on the boat.
Man, some people were talking about how the unlimited guys in the spotters corral get all upset, like especially back in the day with the 80-mile-an-hour rule, pointing at the light, like his light's on, and all I can remember is my grandpa saying like he was trying to race RC boats for a little bit, and they were like more like the sailboat types, and people be beating each other with their antennas on the controller tower. I'm like, this is what I picture right now. It's like, "Hey, your light's on."
That's funny. Shit. It looked a little
So, yeah.
rough in Richland.
I did. I was like, whoa.
Saw a monkey business hooked
JMK spawn a
again.
couple times. Did you see them pictures of I think it's Jacob Malden in the 2.5 mod?
Mm-mm.
Man, I'll try to.
Is he the
find
one that
it.
went
this
over?
This dude, no, he flat spun, but he tried to
Oh.
blow it over, and when he landed it, then it spun out.
Huh.
I think what's his name's got pictures of it. Let me find it. We're on it. Keep talking. Why when I start to look something up, do y'all stop talking?
I
Like,
don't know.
hey, we're gonna wait on Brandon.
No, it looked a little rough in Richland. It was definitely a rough water weekend across the
No,
across the
thanks to
coast.
Bo for sending us a bunch of little videos.
Yeah.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
Bob.
we had another fan submit some stuff too. We posted up like
Yeah. Keep doing
all,
that. If
all
you-
that helps. Like I said, it's hard to figure out what goes on out there sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, even the teams, I think I saw like 4 little highlight videos. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna say it's what we're doing. We're telling everybody to do it, so they're listening. But
I
it's
think
probably not us.
I think what's helped, especially in HRL, you've seen, and not to boost HRL, but specifically the teams in HRL have put a lot of effort into onboard clips, GoPro clips, anything that they can. And you know, we all love racing, and I speak for myself, but I think I speak for everybody else that we love watching boat racing clips. So the more that people produce them, the more that we get to watch.
Right. So yeah, check this little sequence out here. Let's see, there we go. Chris Denslow, one of the best photographers we got. I mean, does this
Yeah.
stuff for free, and
He's always got good stuff.
always on the angle. I don't think you can get much higher. than
Holy shit. Sure, Eddie Canfush was
Eddie
on
says, "Hold my
both coasts
beer."
this weekend.
that. Yeah. And then when he landed it, I don't know.
Yeah.
the
Nose
rudder
buried a little
bracket
bit.
broke or it buried in. and
Something
then it's
did. You
like,
could see
whoop.
that spray.
Now the rudder bracket probably broke once he spun.
Oh yeah.
Because there is a
Damn.
picture of it. Broke, ripped the scoop off.
Rip the
did
scoop
that.
off.
Broke the
Yeah,
rudder
that had to
bracket.
be when the SN came over. See how it's
Spun,
bent?
yeah. Yeah, but that
Wow.
was
But whoa,
wild.
look, how is that already rusted?
Yeah, it's probably old. I don't know what the history is on this boat.
Oh,
I don't remember an A boat looking like
Is this
that.
the A9? Remember it was orange and white? forget who
Yeah, I
had
know what you're
I think it
talking about.
is.
It's
And that
gotta
boat
be.
was bad fast. Like
Yeah,
that
it
was the
was.
only boat, especially on the West Coast, that could almost compete with Randy's.
whatever,
boats and
whatever
Nashville's
happened,
boat.
whatever happened to Justin Weymouth's 2.5 mod?
I think that's the one Marissa and Marina Bartels have.
Oh,
Okay.
is it?
I
Okay.
think. I mean, it's like Henderson. All Jones look the same, so I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure. Okay, that one was a 1-liter. Jim LaBreeze.
Was a 1 liter.
Wow.
Okay.
That thing got an S-slinger in it? That's
like it.
hauling in a little boat if it's got that in it.
Well, you want to hear?
Maybe it's got a Honda.
You want to hear of a 2.5 mod that's going to be coming out? It's going to be pretty quick. Greg Isaac has the A3, which is a Staudicker boat, and he's putting a Gertie in it.
That's cool.
I've been in a Jones with a Gertie. That MFR is going to be fast.
The hell's
Yeah.
a
It's
dirt?
going to be real
Is that an
fast.
Yeah,
engine?
you put it in one of them
Gertie's
spider boats.
sprint car engine.
Okay.
I mean, it puts out tons of power, and the one time we got it running in the Jones boats when I set the height record at Hampton when I flipped.
Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
that thing was bad to the
Is
bones.
he putting a bigger
bad.
skid fin on it?
I don't know.
Probably a
I don't
smarter
know.
driver.
Yeah.
I think Bob's grown up a lot since then, though. I think he'd lift this time. Give him another
Man.
shot, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fast. I mean, is that one? I can't remember. Is that one like Brandy's or is it a little skinnier? Is that the Mashburn Hall that was really skinny?
that one.
Was that Nikki's boat?
No, this was the A3. I believe was Chris Oliver Senior's boat.
Okay, and then it went out west to Sean
It- no-
Warren and
And then it
Okay,
came back
yep,
to
yep.
Jamie Wilson. He passed away, and I think Steve Lynn bought it, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
yep.
And
And
then
then somehow
it's
Steve
still-
Webster bought it, and now it's to
Oh, Steve Webster bought
Greg
it.
Isaac. Yeah, I saw that on the post.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we
So
got one boat right tonight.
All right.
Justin's old boat is Bartel's.
Je-
now, so we got
Justin did
We got one
say,
vote. We're
and I
doing
think
good.
it was.
See,
in
we know
reference-
about 10% of what we talk about.
Justin did say, and I think it was in reference to you asking about that boat you just showed pictures of. It's a 4-piston built Honda.
that's like a custom built Honda K20.
Well, hey,
That's
speaking of, how did
good power.
Justin's boat?
I don't think he ran it yet this weekend. I didn't
Oh,
see
man.
anything of it running. I don't think it's quite ready yet.
I
could be
mean,
wrong.
I hope the best for him, but adding a lot of power like that to a 2.5 stock Henderson, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I hope we had
Interesting.
some weight up in those
Hang
sponsons,
on.
man. So our boat before we put some weight up front was right back to demon mode after, like it was last year before we got it kind of figured out for the Ford.
Man, me.
Oh, here we go.
It'll be interesting.
Here we go.
Me and Bob got it figured out. It's definitely
Here we go.
cover.
Here we go.
I bet we put Sam Tremblay in that thing. He gonna hang her out.
That's because his big. Because Sam Tremblay's big ass balls is weighing it down.
We did put the 4 pounds up front, and I'm telling you
We're
that was
getting there.
that was the
Little-
difference maker. It
little bits.
took 2 freaking years for us to come up with an idea to wrap freaking ankle weights around the wing
Yo,
posts and the sponsons.
You ain't
You're not
supposed to give
give
out
around
this big
secrets.
Who gives a
secret.
shit?
Come on,
Anybody can
man.
put sponsons, put weight up.
How
there.
many years did you just say it took us to come up with that idea? And we're pretty
That's because
smart
we're
people.
stupid as shit. I was talking to Justin from the 11 crew too, and he's like, "Shit, man, you guys could have just got towels wet and threw it up there before the heats." I'm like, "Damn, we didn't even think about that."
Yeah. See, and I put weights in like Carson sponsons, but we put like 20 some pounds because she was so light. And we put them like down on the floor on the primaries, and that boat would hook every corner. We took them
Would it?
weights out, and all of a sudden it was fine. It's like, all right, that was a bad idea. Sorry.
I know. When we went to do the quarter mile record at New Martinsville and Greg Isaac's 2.5 mod, he took sand and poured them in the sponsons.
Sand, just straight sand.
Yeah, because that was the year I flipped the boat in Hampton. He didn't want to take a chance.
Hey,
Brandon, we found
you
another
guys
tool.
did that on the other boat. You guys did that because
Yeah.
you put it in the
Oh,
gas
yeah.
tank. That was
I
the
made,
hardest
like-
shit to get out. 'cause
Oh
it
yeah,
got so
I made,
wet.
We filled the old gas tank with water and sand, and then I made 18 cocaine brick looking sandbags wrapped in duct tape.
It had them
we
in
had-
the trailer.
we
Like,
had
I
'em
don't
in
know
the
how you
trailer.
never got pulled over by border
Dude,
patrol.
either do I. We tried
I
taking
mean,
that
they
shit
were
up there
white-
right now. There's no
White
way.
duct taped. I mean, yeah.
It looked
Dude,
horrible.
I
When
remember Kyle saying, "Hey Bob, what do you think of this idea? I'm gonna take sand and put it in the old gas tank, put some water in it for weight." I'm like, "What?"
we did, dude. My dad sat there for an hour.
I was so mad getting that stuff out. You don't know
Dude,
how many vacuums.
I would have cut the deck
was
off,
so-
pulled out that whole
Yup.
can, and threw it away.
I
Dude, when me
finally
and Dad
told
were-
Grandpa, I was like, "You just got to cut the top of this tank
Yeah.
off. You got to do
Dude,
something
it's
here."
Because it's wet sand. If it was dry sand,
And you're trying to go
different.
through like a 3-inch hole. Like,
Dude, when Dad got home the day I made those sandbags, he looked at that pile of freaking bricks sitting on the ground. He goes, "What the fuck? We're gonna travel around with that?"
I,
I didn't really think
I'm
about how it was gonna
impressed.
look.
Oh
Yeah.
man, K9 dogs come in.
Oh,
yo, sniffing them up.
that would have been funny. I think I was still flagged by Border Patrol at that point too.
Yeah, aren't we all once in a while in our
Yeah,
life?
right?
Yeah. You haven't been flagged by Border Patrol. You ain't trying hard enough.
Right.
So,
Jetson said that he had a fuel pressure regulator issue. That he did run a little bit, and
Okay.
it's only like 200 horsepower what he's at, so it's not
Okay.
too much more than what we got, but
No.
that's cool.
I'm so excited to see that thing once they got it dialed in. That thing is going to be so
It's gonna
fast.
scream. Where's it gonna race though? Like if we combine these classes, he gonna be a 350 now. He's gonna have
Yeah.
mods with 350. Is that what we said?
Uh,
Dang.
man, I'm telling you, 2.5 stocks, 1 liter mods combined.
no. See, this is
2.5
how we get.
mods, 350s
No. Bob,
combined.
see, this is the strategy. This is how we get 1 liters to combine with 2.5s. We get some more people to join Jetson. You're confusing me, Brandon.
Yep.
Get more people to
I
throw-
never know how to pronounce it. I
Get
just
full.
swing
Get to
and
put
miss here.
unrestricted Hondas in their 2.5 because I don't think they'll be allowed with the 2.5 hull to run 350. Right? There's no way.
I wouldn't think. You should.
I wouldn't think. So then make them to be. They're really their only option. Then is going to be to run with 1 liters. They're going to kick their ass, and then the 1 liter is going to be begging to join 2.5.
Yeah.
No,
that's true.
no. We're just gonna put in a rule proposal, combine both classes. I mean, people have already thought about it. People said that it should happen. So I don't
No,
know.
I think you get your couple events a year where 1 liters have a really good class, but I think especially, and if at those events you still want to run them separate because you have the show to do it in both classes, okay, fine.
It'd be-
It's going to be a little hard to do since the inboard commissioner has a 1 liter mod.
It could.
Yeah.
It could be just like SCCA does. You always run together until the nationals. The only place you run with just your class is the runoffs, the nationals. So I mean that could be something you do. Like, hey, you don't show up with 8 boats, you run with these. And
Yeah.
hey, if you do have 8 boats and these people have 3, they're coming with you. Sorry, like this is just the way it is.
So the reality is that I bet you if you went to some of the races, Decatur, I don't think you run in the issue of Decatur. You had 6 1 liters, but you ask them like, what do you think about this class running with this class? And they're like, they'd be like, we didn't understand why they had their own class in the first
Right.
place.
Yeah. And I mean you think of that too. Like you just said, like they had 6 1 liters, so it was okay. Is it? Like how separated were they?
Why? Where? Yeah.
I didn't see the race because it was 3,000 feet in the air.
They're
so-
they're close. They're close in the same speed, and we are 15, 20 years ago. 6 would have been like that's a dead class.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're talking about 3 is a dead class. No, we need to up our standards a little bit.
Right.
These boats are the same speed. Combine them. Let's make one decent class out of it.
And I think
Well, and
especially,
then you look. Go ahead.
Right.
Ah,
well, I
okay.
think when you have the issue
Okay,
of
you got it.
sponsorships being a challenge to get, and you're trying to sell a show, but not willing to make changes to make the show better, it's you're shooting yourself in the foot.
As a race promoter,
Exactly.
I don't want four boats going out in this class and 6
Yeah.
going out this class. If we can combine them and make 10, split it up 5 and 5. I know it's 5 and
Yeah.
5. We've only had one more for heat, but it's still that build up to the final, right?
Well, I'd rather have 2 qualifiers in a final of 10 boat qualifiers. And hey, the guy that won qualifier 1A is not going to win qualifier 2A. Like, you get more boats on the water at
Yeah.
more times. And it's like I said, it's kind of like SCCA too. Is like there was times I'd be in the Formula Enterprise and my best race was racing with someone in a Formula Continental that is a little slower than me on the straightaways, but I could get them in the corner or vice versa. Like you have a fun race, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. If you come in from a deck-to-deck battle, I don't care if it's a 2.5 stock versus a 1 liter, 2.5 mod versus 350, man, you're gonna be like, that was awesome.
Yeah, you
As
think
a
those
driver.
guys didn't
And the
have
fans
fun
are gonna
in
think
that
that
heat
too.
with Bartles this weekend, the one that they posted they're on board of?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
they
looked
were-
like they were having a blast.
That was a 3 boat battle all
Yep.
the whole heat.
Yep. So yeah, all this stuff is achievable. We just got to get out of our own way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's boat racing history, and I'm not saying that we need to forget about history, but I think it's important to remember that we don't have boat racing history if we don't keep having boat racing.
Yeah.
The
No.
history means nothing if the sport doesn't continue.
Yep.
And
That's
the
The
old guard,
continuation has got to take priority.
and the old guard's got to change. Like, you know, you're going to have the older guys saying, "Well, this is 1,000 cc versus, and this boat engine's this cc. We can't." You got to look at
Eye test.
speeds. Look
Eye
at
test.
speeds.
It's a show. It's an
Yeah,
eye
it's a
test.
show.
The
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah.
the eye test that matters is the fans.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just like sports. It's just like professional basketball. You hear your NBA players, this isn't the entertainment industry. Who the hell pays your contract? Oh, yeah, it was
Right.
that $20 billion TV deal.
Yep.
Exactly.
TVs are bought for entertainment. It's an entertainment appliance.
Yep.
You are in the entertainment industry. We are in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and we got to look at
Choose
it
not
as,
to
like,
accept it all you want, but that's reality.
straight up look at any other motorsports. I mean, they have good car counts or they're come up.
Mhm.
Like all IndyCar, F1, they have good car counts. They can do it on their own.
Mhm.
You go to the not SCCA racing, but the like Rolex 24. There's like 4 cars in GTD, 4 cars in GT Le Mans. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so you're all gonna run together, and then all of a sudden you got all these different things going on in the race for fans to understand.
Yep.
Just makes
Well,
more excitement.
Not saying that I advocate for it because we don't want classes messing each other up, but I get some entertainment out of watching the GT3 cars get in the way of the hypercars
Oh yeah, yep.
because there's always
for sure.
accidents. And I'm not
Yep.
saying again, I'm not advocating for accidents, but that it creates storylines and it creates entertainment.
Well, you think about it, like go back to that heat with Marina or Marissa, whoever was driving. They're on the outside. They're dogging them 2.5 stocks, or they're catching them. They're catching them. That was exciting coming to the finish.
Yeah.
Like, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
other heat, I think she posted from her onboard man. They dove inside and they're
Yeah, it
going
was a
by
good
Jay
move.
Michael, and then he spins out. Like,
Yeah.
it's exciting because you got that difference in speed, difference in class, but they're all running together. I mean, it's
Mhm.
I'd hate saying no brainer because it seems easy to us, but
there ain't no such thing as a no brainer in hydroplane racing.
we've been doing
Don't
this
exist.
long enough. We see it all.
But I think
on
I-
a question we have on the stream was about HRL bringing back the 1.5s. There is talk about trying to do the 2.5 stock class as like a restricted class for the younger kids. As these Hondas kind of come in, they're talking about putting restrictor plates on and bringing it back to being a rookie class with slower
Yeah.
speeds for them kids.
that's cool.
So they're already thinking of that because they had 17 kids this year in the J stocks.
Yeah.
They got
That's
a lot
awesome.
of kids, new blood coming in the sport.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good.
Like I said, watching those races, you can tell some of them got some good racing acumen, man. They're gonna be fun to watch as they
Yeah.
progress up through the classes.
They're doing a hell of a lot better than you did in the J
Oh
stock.
Jesus! Here we go, Brandon. All I gotta say, dude,
If he ain't
screw
missing a
you
start, he's
for
sinking
putting
his
them
boat.
damn wing plates on the way you did because I watched the GoPro footage today, and y'all are giving me way too much shit for that wing position because it
Bring it
looks
up.
worse than it is with
Bring
those
it
wing
up.
plates.
Brandon, you got that
does.
video?
Sometimes
It
literally-
looks so much
I
worse
don't, I
than it
don't,
is.
I don't have it on this computer, but I literally told Carson that I was like, man, this is pissing me off because now I put the wing plates and on this live stream, I can see the kids got the wing buried. Like, I'm gonna take them off so I can't see it no more. I like he riding around in the warm up with the wing buried. What's he doing?
Like literally the way that wing is when we have it at max upwing, which is not a lot, it doesn't really need it. The plates are borderline level with the spots
Right
it's
at
already.
it, yo.
Right at it. So if I touch that wing at all, it's like boom, downwing. It's like,
We
God
know.
damn it.
We did it. We want us to put colors on it. Let's color the outside. We'll do red, yellow, green, or green, yellow, red. Once you get to red, we're like, God, come on, Kyle.
Hey, you know who ain't giving me shit about this? Uncle G, because I'm advertising the shit out of H Tool.
Exactly. Yep. Starting to get to that Kyle Bipes, Jeff Bernard sponsorship.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
good times. Hey, man, if the boat's set up right and you can run that much wing and still go fast, hey, we're
Yeah.
doing all right.
Well, the other thing too is I learned that I'm measuring the stroke from the wrong spot. So
Oh, no
Me
way.
and Brandon talked about that.
Your dad called me on Monday. He's like, look, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but let me explain this to you. I was like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that one. That's your argument, not mine.
Yeah, well, Kyle, when Kyle explained it to me, and I'm sitting here and I'm like thinking to myself, I didn't say to him, I'm like, you're just fucking adjusting the strut, so you're trying to take a measurement to see how much you move it, and then it dawned on me like after that conversation, he's putting the strut back on the boat. I'm like, oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, to be honest, that's maybe where we should take the measurement from because it's a whole lot easier. You don't need no straight edge.
Right.
You don't need a long.
That's
thing.
exactly
Like,
why I did it.
It's a lot easier.
just go right from the back of the boat. But I guess when you have a 3-inch extended strut, that makes it a little worse.
over that total of 10 inches, it's an inch.
I'll have
a
to
difference.
ask Dad what if they measure today what it actually is back where the prop goes because it's
4.5.
probably pretty freaking deep. 4.5.
Yep, it's pretty.
God damn, it's that much the difference. I had it at 3 5/8 from where I measured.
Yeah, it's an inch different over a 10
7/8
barrel.
of an
4.5.
inch.
Holy crap! You're getting up to like GP depth.
Yeah, you're like a half inch off.
I
the
can't
GP
believe
at
things
that
Oh,
stayed
man.
ran
Actually,
over the
some
waves as well
GPs
as it
do
did.
run at that depth.
Eddie had the wing buried.
Anyhow, oh man, I hate. Actually, it might be a better stable when you jack it back up. We're gonna think it's gonna get lighter, but it's actually gonna be like no, because it's not trying to lift so much.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that's great.
It did feel a lot better though with the adding the weight and then that little move with the skid fin. I mean, that skid fin's so nice. That's the easiest, even in those conditions. That's the easiest that boat's ever been to drive.
Nice. Right. Constant improvements.
I was actually in my cool down lap. I was holding the lid up with one hand, waving with the other, not touching the wheel, and that thing went dead straight. That would have been funny if I'd have
awesome.
looped it in the cool down.
I don't. Yeah, I always get that fear, like something stupid's gonna happen.
Dude, I like
Or it's
gonna
doing shut
the
off, and I'm gonna be broke down out here.
I like doing the wide swing on the last lap just to kind of get close to shore and stuff. It gets me nervous every time though.
Yeah, for sure. You're like, is somebody gonna sneak up or get a penalty?
I'm just worried I'm gonna catch one of those outside rollers coming back off the wall at Sorrel. When I went through it the one time, I was
be
like, "Come
bad.
on, man, please, just let me
Yeah,
get through
please,
this turn."
don't get one of these rollers at the wrong time.
That's the thing with that turn, man. Is it's kind of just freaking ask for the best luck possible. Drive in there and just hope it doesn't come because you're not gonna see them.
Yeah, no, that's
First thing you're gonna see is the sky.
Yeah, like I said, I watched, and you said earlier, I watched Eddie's video a lot, and I didn't see the roller.
You can't see it.
Usually, I feel like I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff.
You hear it, though.
But I did that in the GP and time trials last year. I was hauling ass down the backstretch, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom! I'm like,
Yep.
"What? Where did that
Well,
come from?"
are you talking about Valleyfield or in Sorrel?
No, that was Sorrel. Like the
Sorrel.
boat just was like boom
Yeah.
and lifted like totally flat. Like 2 foot
There
off
was
the
one
water.
in Valleyfield that everybody hit going into turn 2. Bernard got up there. The Canada boy. Ken almost put the Canada boy over.
That's that end of that back street in Valley.
What about that residential roller at Bahornois?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah, that was a sea monster, man.
I don't
They-
get that.
They
thing, man.
look for the sea monster in Cambridge. They should have shut it down in Bahorma and found that one there.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, I seen it through the live stream. Everyone was hitting it. I'm like, oh, something's there.
You texted
Nah,
me. I
Pipes,
was like,
this
yeah,
new fin, man.
he's lying.
No,
No,
no.
you,
Well-
you texted me about it. I'm like, ain't no way. And then I hit it in the first turn. I'm like, whoa, what is that? Bobby was right.
Pipes, it's not the one we worked on, but it's the one that we did some
Worked on.
reconnaissance.
It's amazing how much you can pick up from a good live stream.
Oh yeah.
I love
The
being able to
HRL
just go.
live stream.
Yeah, I love being able to, like, especially Kyle. Like, if I was racing in Kyle, you could like just go back and see the heat because you feel things, and then you need to see what the boat did
Exactly.
to know if like your feeling was right.
Exactly.
Even
That's-
obviously, I'm 19 years into this, but there's a lot of times that I like to go back and be like, was I light? Oh no, I really wasn't.
And, like,
whatever.
where it's helped me a lot with our boat is we built that thing with a pretty aggressive angle of attack, so it feels, I would say, more unstable, but more upward than it really is. And so I always make a point to go back, watch my GoPro footage, see what I'm doing with the wing, go back, watch, because you guys all had me thinking I had this thing max wing all weekend, and I didn't. It's the f***ing plates. I'll send the GoPro footage. But-
he's gonna cut him before Brockville. He's gonna be like,
I might.
he's
dude.
gonna put
I
him
might.
full buried and just cut a line. Like, you ain't gonna
Pissing
see
me
this no
off.
more.
They're
Right?
pissing me off. But
We'll put
especially
rainbows
feel
in
wise,
there
like coming
for
down
you.
the straight, feeling it. There's times where it will start walking on the sponsons, and because I feel so angled upward, it's nice to get a horizontal visual of what it actually looks like attitude wise on the boat. Because there's been times where I've felt like I got out of shape, and then I go back and watch the thing, and the thing didn't move. And you know,
Yeah.
it's really
You're
just
also
a little bit of walk.
in that bow. You're also laying down a lot. That
Yeah.
changes your sensation of feel.
Big time.
Yeah, I don't
that
like
was
laying
that
down.
was a huge
yeah, it's
adjustment
crazy.
for me.
The laying down, different boats we've driven over the years. I'm sure Bobby feels the same. It's like if the cockpit's just a little bit forward, like you feel like, oh my god, this boat's
Yeah.
light, and then it's like, no, it's not light. Like it's just all these things add up, and it's just getting used to it. Seat time is key.
And I think what was the biggest change for me is our sponsons relative to where the cell is are so much shorter now that I don't
Yep.
see them a ton. I see a fair amount of them, like the tips, but on the old boat, I could see damn near the whole sponson. So I
Right,
really
you
have
see
a
it
great
out.
visual of how far off the water they are. Now it's a little bit dicey, but we're starting to figure that kind of
We're
that
learning. I mean,
balance out.
people in the comments are telling you you're like Jacob style, but
Yeah, whatever. Oh,
I mean,
Or-
I don't
or
think you
the-
have your foot locked the whole lap. I mean, 3/4 of the lap maybe, but
You know
not
what?
the whole lap. I see it move
I'm-
at least now,
I'm
every
just-
now and then, and I know it's not broke.
If you're
Oh.
gonna have your wing like that, you got to be like Samuel Tremblay. Just don't let out.
Yep, that's
do,
it.
do you realize that
out.
I ran a faster
It's
time
not
than that
his
guy
fault.
did the whole weekend?
That's yeah. I'll
Hey, he just
still
didn't
say-
let out though.
I still think
I
Kyle
still ran a
one less
faster
lap.
time.
Right?
We were talking about that the other day. I'm like, man, I don't know. The data did look pretty clean, but
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you
I think
did you
ran
did
one
have
less.
you did have faster time than the whole F class. So I'll give you
Other
that.
than John in the final, that was the
Okay.
only heat. That was the only performance that was faster than
Yeah,
my
well, he had a
first
1 minute
qualifier
penalty, so
Sunday.
Throw him out.
Oh,
And I'll be the
John
first to
in the
say
game.
I have no idea how the hell that heat was so fast. Because outside of the first lap where Lucas was still pushing on the outside before I got away from him, I felt like I took it easy. I actually had to have Dad sit behind the boat and he pushed the throttle down to make sure that what's full throttle on the throttle is full there. Because I'm like, I bet you I'm gonna get halfway and that thing's gonna be wide open. Because I come back from the first heat and I was like, dude, I couldn't have gone faster than 60. Nope, 85. I was like, what the hell? There's no way. But
Well, we know
No,
the wing
thing
gets
just-
full wing.
thing just pulls, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Bipes wants to know how much for the Kennard sponsorship.
You ain't buying it from H Tool Machine. We got it. Locked
Prime
and loaded.
location.
Prime,
Prime
location. We picked it very well. We knew this was coming. I didn't build the thing to stay.
So
on the water.
anyway, we got a
No,
race
you
coming up this weekend.
Where?
Saline, Ohio.
Okay.
Saline,
That'll be
Ohio is back on the schedule from a hiatus for what? 7 years?
Yeah.
Put
at
it this
least.
way, I was driving Ronnie Thompson's 350 when last time they
Four-
ran there.
Wow. Man, it's got to be 10 years. 9,
So, yeah.
9, 10 years.
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
it's been a while, but they are back on and running.
They got the
gonna be
Governor's
cool.
Cup.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
I was
cool.
I don't know 100% sure, but I believe they're doing some testing on Saturday morning, which is cool. You know, there's not a lot of testing opportunities for boats, so it's really cool they're doing that. And then I think they're doing hydro hot laps both days.
Sick. I love that, especially as a young kid when you go out there and win that $200. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're throwing up the money they did back then, but that was so cool.
Yeah.
It was all in $2 bills.
Yeah.
That race has always been one of them, like, you got to go to. It's cool.
It's a cool
The
race.
pit area is cool. I mean, leaving the docks is not cool when you're fighting for lanes.
Yeah.
And it's like the Eastern Divisionals or Nationals, and Bob's taking out the zebra on the way out of the docks. But other than that, I mean, it's a cool venue for watching the races.
They've spent millions developing that area too, from what I've heard. So
Oh,
it's
really?
probably even way better than it's ever been in terms of
Wow.
the site. It was always a great site too.
That's
And
cool.
we got Jeff Ayler. He's coming out to do it.
I-
That's really cool.
This isn't for sure, but I believe I am going to be co-announcing with Jeff on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm glad there's no live stream. I don't need to hear that.
There's no live stream.
Not unless we do
I
one.
We have a race in 2025 with no live stream.
Yeah, we should probably do one. Can we put one together in 2 days? We gotta get.
I could
Steven on
definitely,
it.
I could definitely
Hey.
set something up for
Hey.
Sunday.
Hey, it's still going to be better than H1s.
Yeah.
We'll get Steven on it. Whatever Steven from HRL, Dugay, I don't even know how to say his last name, Dungay, whatever it is, but whatever he says we gotta get it for the live stream. We'll do one. Chasing Tails. I mean, 2 days. Bob, open up that wallet. Let's go.
All right.
We got the camera. Unless it doesn't come out of that race. We're not sure. Montwork might have tore up our camera. Up there.
Yeah, I'm
in
scared to touch it
Sorrel.
right now. I ain't touching it until this weekend. I don't. The weird thing with that camera is there's an on-off button, and I don't know why. Because if you open it, it turns on, and if you shut it, it turns off. So I don't even
Yeah.
want to touch it and accidentally have it fire up before all that water's out.
It'll be fine.
But I'm sure BMOC got us some damn good shots. When I think you texted mom and was like, "Hey," and she came to me. She's like, "Hey, get that camera for Brian. Is that okay?" I'm like, hell yeah, that's okay. I get
Yeah.
to sit here and let him go get way better footage.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
Right.
Not gonna say no to that.
That's cool.
But yeah,
Janek's like,
Salina,
that's the
it's gonna
deal.
be cool.
Brian will that whenever we need it. You let us use it, and Brian will get the footage. I was like, shit, you can use it every weekend.
Yep.
So back to
we got
Salina, Ohio. They have the Governor's Cup, and it is the best overall performance of the weekend. Goes to the boat. I've won it the past
Usually
two.
Usually comes down to closest to the record because there's
Well,
always ties.
I won it the past 2 years that they had the race. No one's ever won it three in a row, which I'm not going to do because I'm not going, unfortunately.
I can already see the controversy coming with the Honda. Somebody is tied for points in a Honda, closest to the record in a Honda, but Hondas can't set records. So how can they win
Well,
it?
technically, you're not.
Just calling
Technically,
it
you're not set.
You're not
Technically, you're
setting
not
it.
setting it.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just
Technically,
calling it
you're
now.
not setting
Just calling it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I can see that.
We'll see. We'll see. It should
Yeah,
Well,
be
there's
it's
fun.
only
really
going to
cool.
be. There's only
So
going
are
to
they
be one
gonna
boat
have-
there with a Honda.
I wonder if they're still going to do the billboard. If you were the last one to win it, is your ugly
I
one going to
hope
be on
that's
the
the
billboard
coolest
again?
part.
So you mean I've been on
That
the
is cool.
billboard for like
No,
10
dude,
years?
there ain't no way they
Probably.
left
They
your ugly
probably
ass up
just
there this whole
left
time.
that billboard
There ain't no way.
up.
There ain't no way.
Just Bob. Hey, buddy, it's been so long. You probably had hair back then.
Yeah,
Man, I definitely had hair back then.
dude. If we roll in and there's a freaking picture of Bob on that billboard,
With
I'm
hair.
gonna lose it.
just like a flow. Dang.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
They got, we
because
got.
the first year I won it with Grandel, and Grandel's 2.5 stock when I sent half the class packing because they were all pissed off from losing the Saturday. And then following year, won it with Timmy Collins' 1 liter mod, the shenanigans. So that was cool. Then Timmy's going down, trying to win it again. I don't know who he has driving for him this weekend. I'm not sure.
Dude, why didn't Timmy ever drive his own boat? Is Timmy raced before?
I don't know. I don't think Timmy will fit
think
there
he's-
now.
I think
No.
he said
He
he's
used to be
ridden
able
in a
to.
skiff, but
Yeah,
think he ever
he's
drove.
That's
He,
what
he's
we
been
got to
at
get
Dennis
happening on
Macy's
Chasing
scale.
Tails. We got to get the IRC chairman in his own boat. For a
don't
weekend,
Yeah.
or at
think
least the
he
heat.
would fit anymore.
Bob, that's not nice. You're not supposed to say that about people.
He's a little stocky.
I don't think we shove him in there.
We can fit him. I've seen bigger people fitting.
If we could
Right.
have squeezed Dad into my way, I think we can get Timmy in as well.
Yeah, I think we can. We got to
Yeah.
make
It might
it.
not be the most comfortable, but he ain't be out there for more than like 10 minutes.
Yeah, just do a hot lap, man. That's all we want.
Exactly.
Hey, why?
For
Did we just end? We just end
No.
on.
Yeah, our Facebook just cut out.
Yeah.
Did it?
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Do you see Michigan?
Yeah, we're getting smoked right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that just went out. That's weird.
Yeah, mine like cut to an ad. That was weird.
So we might as well just wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're at
that's good.
9:30.
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
All right, folks on YouTube, obviously the true people go on YouTube because
Yeah.
there's never a mess up with the
OGs.
YouTube live stream. We do have I think it's Medric's dad, Thunderbolt 66. They said we pronounced it good, so that's cool.
Yes,
I'm
I got one
excited
right.
about that.
I got one right.
But yeah, it's been
Tell
awesome.
your son good job.
Yes.
He killed it.
Great race in SRL. Salina is going to be awesome. Excited to have that race back. We got 2-3 cameras plus the onboards going there, so we're going to get a lot of footage. We got some driving school footage. We got a cool edit coming out this week. Make sure you check that out. But we'll be back next week, I'm sure, and be on Chase the Tails Wednesday 8 p.m. We'll see you then.
Later.
So